Hello and good morning, everyone. Hope that you had a great weekend. I certainly did. I got a lot of rest and I did not want to get out of bed today, but doing this is more important to me than getting out of bed. So I'm going to get right back in bed after we do this, but Jesus first, right? So we're going to dive in today. We're going to finish up John chapter 4. Had a great week focusing on woman at the well. And this is the last part of John chapter 4. So hopefully you can grab your Bibles this morning and join in. John chapter 4, starting in verse 43. After the 2 days he left for Galilee. After the 2 days he left for Galilee. Now Jesus himself had pointed out that a prophet has no honor in his hometown. When he arrived in Galilee, the Galileans welcomed him. They had seen all that he had done in Jerusalem at the Passover feast, for they had also been there. Once more he visited Cana in Galilee, where he had turned the water into wine. And there was a certain royal official whose son lay sick at Capernaum. When this man heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son, who was close to death. Unless you people see miraculous signs and wonders, Jesus told him, you will never believe. It's not the nicest response, Jesus. Come on, give the guy a break. His son's dying, right? The royal official said, Sir, come down here before my child dies. He asks again. Jesus replied, You may go. Your son will live. The man took Jesus at his word and departed. While he was still on the way, his servants met him with the good news that his boy was living. When he inquired as to the time when his son got better, they said to him, The fever left him yesterday at the 7th hour. Then the father realized that this was the exact time at which Jesus had said to him, Your son will live. So he and all his household believed. This was the second miraculous sign that Jesus performed, having come from Judea to Galilee. All right, so it's interesting that this kind of story follows up the big story of the woman in the well, because there's this huge, it's almost 50 verses of the story of the woman in the well, and then in the same chapter, it ends with just a couple verses of another seemingly random thing. But what I want you to see here, and what I hope God's maybe revealing to you this morning, is that Jesus, whether he's super close or super far away, is just as loving, just as kind, just as powerful, and wants to see lives changed. Whether you're super close to him and face to face with him like the woman at the well was, or you're the young sick boy who's miles and miles away. Notice Jesus doesn't even have to show up to heal the son. Jesus doesn't even have to be in the same room. He doesn't have to be face to face like he was with the woman at the well. He heals this boy from towns over. So my question for you today is, how powerful is the Jesus you believe in? How significant, how life-changing is the Jesus you believe in? What weight do you put on your Jesus' shoulders? You see, this guy was, again, not a Jew. This guy was not religious. This was a guy in need. This was a guy in need. He needed something, and he was at the end of his rope, and he came to Jesus. I don't know where you are in your life right now. I don't know if you have a great day or if you've had a really difficult weekend. But there comes a point in each of us, in each of our lives, where we get to the end of our rope. I've been there a few times, and I don't want you to be there, but if it causes you to see Jesus for who he really is, that's sometimes where we have to get. You see, this guy, like I said, wasn't religious, wasn't following Jesus, wasn't like some super awesome person. He was just a guy in need. And he was at the end of his rope with his son dying. And he said, I've got to do this. I've got to go see Jesus. So, how powerful is the Jesus you believe in? How significant, how mighty, how dependable is the Jesus you believe in? Because he had the right perspective of Jesus. He knew if he just came to Jesus, he knew that he had tried everything else. He knew that nothing else was working. In other gospels, by the way, it talks about how he had tried for years and been to many doctors and nobody had answers. So he was at the end of his rope, and he finally turned to Jesus and he said, I need you to come through. And he expected Jesus to come with him back to his house. He says, sir, come down before my child dies. He expected Jesus. He even kind of gave Jesus a limit. He says, you got to be there, so come with me. Come back to my home with me. And Jesus says, you need a sign. All you people need a sign. And he says, go, your son will live. How much faith did that take from that guy? How much faith did it take for him to take Jesus at his word? That's what it says in verse 50. It says he took Jesus at his word. How much is it going to take for us to take Jesus at his word? You see, the guy didn't know his son was going to be healed. The guy just had to trust Jesus at his word. So how awkward of a walk back to his home would that have been? It was a few miles at least. It was in different towns. That's kind of an awkward, like, grieving walk home to be like, okay, Jesus said he was going to do this, and I hope he does. And then he gets home, and his son is healed. And he remembers, or he's told, and remembers the time in which Jesus said, your son is healed, was the exact time that his son was actually healed at home. But Jesus made him wait. Sometimes Jesus makes us wait. Sometimes we have to get to the end of our rope. And I hope that if you're at the end of your rope, or maybe preemptively before you get there, you can come to Jesus and say, I need you to do something powerful. I need you to do something miraculous. When you get there, he'll do it. He will do it. And it's not even difficult for Jesus. He doesn't even have to be there. He's far away, and he says one sentence, boom, it's done. So that's my question for you today. How powerful is the Jesus you believe in? How close is the Jesus you believe in? How much faith are you having to have right now? And has it paid off yet? There will be a result in trusting Jesus. I promise there will be. Jesus promises there will be. I hope that can encourage you today. See your Jesus, see the Jesus you believe in a new perspective of power and might and getting things done. Because he can do that, he will do that, because he loves you. Hope you guys enjoyed today. Hope that encouraged you. Hope you had a great weekend, and we will start John chapter 5 tomorrow. We'll see you later.